What up, though, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. Hey, God put it in my heart to share testimony with y'all, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I can remember it was about a year ago. In April, it'll be a year. And it was one Sunday after church. Me, my little brother and sister, we end up going to this park. Now, when I went to this park, I had no intentions on ever stepping foot on the basketball court to play basketball. Because at this time, I haven't played basketball within about 2 to 3 years, right? And the reason why I did not play basketball for all of this time is because I kind of gave up basketball and I kind of walked away from it because, in my 20s, you get what I'm saying? I was really on the basketball court every moment and every chance and every opportunity that I got, right? And God will always warn me. He will always tell me to be careful. Be careful on the court. You get what I'm saying? Because there was something that was going to happen to me. There was going to be an injury that happened. But a lot of times, when we hear, warnings and it don't happen to us right away, we kind of forget and we kind of feel like, it ain't going to happen. When the reality of it is that you don't know at what moment that prophecy or that word is going to actually come to pass, right? So anyways, we go to this park. Like I said, no intentions to get on the basketball court. I'm chilling at the park for a little bit. My little sister, she's on the basketball court. There's a group of kids out there, and they're teenage boys, and they're out there. They're playing basketball. So after sitting at the park for a while, I decide, and I don't know what made me do it, but I decide to walk over to the basketball court and start playing basketball. I had on my Crocs. So I really wasn't playing hard. I wasn't playing serious or anything. I was just basically shooting. You get what I'm saying? But the competitor in me couldn't stay down for long. So we started playing three on three, king of the court. And I told my little brother, I was like, yo, I'm going to get, all right. I told myself, I was like, I'm going to actually play. I didn't stretch or anything. I was like, I'm going to actually play. So I told my little brother, hey, let me get them shoes. So he gave me his shoes or whatever like that. And I started playing ball and I started getting serious and everything like that. And we was on a little streak. You get what I'm saying? And it was me, my sister, and it was somebody else that we had just randomly picked up. But we on a little streak and we kind of run in the court. And we go against this one team where this one kid, he's probably I want to say 6'5" or whatever like that. So I call myself going to drive on him, right? And when I go up for the layup, when I went up, something just did not feel right. But it was when I came down that everything just completely just shifted. And so I go up for the layup, and when I come down, our knees hit like that. And my knee was the top knee, boom, hit just like that coming down. And I could not land on my feet. All I could do was just fall straight to the ground. And I'm grimacing and I'm like, I'm yelling like, my leg. I had no idea what happened to me. So anyways, the ambulance and the PMTs, they're called, right? And so when they get there, the guy, he's talking to me and he's like, what's going on? I'm like, look, man, I don't know. All I know is I went up for the layup. I came down, we hit knees, and it felt like something popped in my leg. And he's like, can you straighten your leg? Because at this point, I could not straighten my leg. My leg just literally went like this, and I couldn't straighten it. This is where my kneecap was. That's not where your kneecap's supposed to be. So anyways, so I'm laying there, and he's like, can you straighten your leg? And I'm like, nah, I can't straighten my leg. So he's like, okay, for me to get a closer look at it, I'm going to need to cut your sweatpants, because I had on sweatpants. I'm going to need to cut your sweatpants so I can see. So when he lifted it, you saw the picture. When he took the sweatpants and he cut them, and I saw that, I said, God dang it. And all I could think about was the warnings that God gave me years and years and years ago and consistently gave me when I was playing basketball. And so anyways, I ended up going to the hospital, and I still didn't know what was going on. And so I had to go and get x-rays, MRIs, all that stuff like that, right? And come to find out, I tore my patella tendon in my knee. Now, I don't know if anybody ever suffered from that injury. I know I heard a lot of people, you get what I'm saying, that went through MCLs, ACLs, tears and all that stuff like that, hamstrings and all that stuff like that. But I never heard of a patella tendon injury. And so if you ever went through that, then you understand. But anyways, I ended up going to the hospital, getting the results of what it was, had my surgery. And guess what? For the next 6 months, your boy was bedridden. But here's the lesson in all of that, right? Yeah, I was disobedient. Yeah, I did not take heed. I wasn't listening to God. I didn't follow instructions. And so that led me to this point. So through them 6 months of me being bedridden and having to learn how to walk again and all of that stuff. You get what I'm saying? I was in a brace. I was on crutches and everything like that. I literally, man, it was a journey. When I was shower, I had to literally put a garbage bag over it so I could keep the brace on. You get what I'm saying? Because I couldn't bend my leg for 6 months. I could not bend my leg. I literally cannot bend no, it wasn't completely 6 months. I think it was about like 8 weeks after the surgery. Yeah, it was 8 weeks after the surgery. I could not bend I couldn't bend my leg. And so every time I would have to shower, I would have to put a bag over it. I would have to get help. You get what I'm saying? And it was just, man, it was a trying time. But that time, it taught me so much. It drew me closer to God. I got to know more about myself. I got to know more about God. God broke me. He literally did a transformation on me. And one of the things God told me when I was in that season of my life, he told me that when you get up this time, when you walk again, you're never going to walk the same. Now, that didn't mean I would have like a limp or whatever the case may be. I had it for probably like a little bit when I first started learning how to walk again, but that's normal. But now I walk just fine. All glory be to God. And so he told me, when you get up, you're going to walk differently. You're going to walk better. You're going to be the man of God. You're not going to be a double-minded man, unstable in all your ways. It was just a lot, right? And so through them 6 months of the testing and the trying, and one of the good things I thank God about is that with those type of injuries, a lot of people are typically in so much pain. So much pain that, they prescribe certain medicines and everything like that. One thing I thank God, I did not have to touch not one pill. I did not have to touch not one pill because for all my time laying there, I didn't have no pain. Obviously, it was numb. Like, I couldn't feel it for a long time. You get what I'm saying? I couldn't feel my knee for a long time, but I did not have any excruciating pain or anything like that. I was never really uncomfortable. And that's just by the grace of God. That's by the grace of God. That's the only thing I can chalk it up to. It's the grace of God. And so I give him all glory for that. But anyways, I go through that whole process. I'm literally all out of work for 6 months, not being able to do nothing but literally later let my leg heal because you got to keep it straight in order for it to heal because the way that they do it, if you have time, just look up how they repair a torn patella tendon. It's a very interesting video. I looked it up myself. It's a very interesting video on how they do it. It shows you. So anyways, like I said, I'm laying there and I'm going through this journey and I'm not really feeling pain from anything like that. And like I said, I got to keep my legs straight and all that stuff like that. And I was never really uncomfortable. But again, like I said, I thank God. But the biggest lesson in all of that was that I needed to learn how to be more obedient. I needed to get more focused and more serious about my life, right? And through that time, that's exactly what I started to learn how to do. That's exactly what my focus was. And so anyways, like I said, I was bedridden. I was going between being at home, learning how to walk again, and then going between PT, going between doctor visits and everything. And in that moment and all of that, I really couldn't see the other side of it. I really couldn't see the other side of it. And that's really the test, the trial that's in it, is that sometimes you doubt, like, am I going to be okay? Like, am I going to be able to walk normally? Am I going to be able to run again? Am I going to be able to jump again? Am I going to be able to move the way that I want to move? And I know a lot of you that may have, suffered injuries, you probably thinking the same thing. And I'm here to let you know that, yeah, you will be. Yeah, you can. You get what I'm saying? It's all a mindset, because that's another big battle of it, is battling your mind. Because now when you start learning how to walk again, and it took a minute for the brace to come off, because I was nervous. I didn't want to re-injure. I didn't want nothing to happen. And so I was kind of nervous. So even in PT, you get what I'm saying? When my PT was letting me know, like, hey, you're coming to the point where, the brace is going to, because it's a process with the brace. So basically what they do is you start off with it locked in place for about 6 to 8 weeks. And then after the 8-week mark, they actually unlock it to where you can bend your leg, right? And then you get to a point where when you get comfortable kind of bending your leg, now the brace is no longer locked when you walk. Now it's unlocked, so that you can kind of get that normal motion again in your walking. So when I really got to that point, I'm gonna let you know, I was nervous. I was scared. I was trying to prolong it. I was like, man. But the more I kept doing it, I was like, yo, wait. I started getting more confident and more confident and more confident with it. You get what I'm saying? And so, anyways, I get through that point. And then she tells me, I think it was like a couple appointments after that. All right, you ready for the brace to come off? I was like, oh, snap. But one thing I do love is that my PT went at my pace. She went at the pace that I was comfortable at. You get what I'm saying? Because you really go through a mental battle. You really go through a mental battle with injuries like this. You get what I'm saying? And so she went at my pace, and I appreciated that. But I knew that in order for me to really get through my recovery, I have to take these necessary steps. I have to trust her to do her job, and to know that she knows where I am and how far along I am. And she knows, like she would tell me all the time, like it's healed. Like the patella, like the repair is healed. You get what it's there, it's stable, and You just got to learn how to, get comfortable doing things again, being active again. And so I go through all of that. You get what I'm saying? And I start, I like I said, I was out of work for 6 months. It started to approach the time where I started to come back to be able to go back to work. And really, it's 6 months for you to go back to work, but it takes a full year for you to fully recover. So I'm still, in PT to this day. And like I said, I won't be finished with PT until about April of this year. And so anyways, I get to that point, and that was another thing that made me nervous, because I'm in construction. And so I did not know, what that was going to be like. You get what I'm saying? Like having to do certain things, having to climb up things, or whatever the case may be. But it's really surprised me since I've been back at work. You get what I've been back at work right now. I want to say I went back in October of last year. So October, November, December, and then January. So this is really like my third full month back at work, and everything has really been going smooth. Everything has really, been feeling good. And like I said, I was wearing a sleeve on my knee for a long time, because again, the mental part, I wanted to be safe in every way possible. And it was really helping me for a long time. But I started to notice like that I felt like it was holding me back. The sleeve, the brace thing that I had on there. And so I just completely did away with it. And now, am I working out? Am I going to PT? Even at work, I'm no longer wearing that. And I'm just finding that confidence again, in my leg, and being able to walk, even though my leg buckles sometimes, or whatever the case may be. But I don't feel scared, and I thank God. And I know that God is with me. So even in all of that, I say all of that to say that whatever, injury, for anybody that's going through an injury right now and going through a recovery season in your life, it can even be a recovery season from a heartbreak, or whatever the case may be, from you losing your job or your home or family member, or whatever it may be, is for you to have confidence, not only in yourself, but in God. Because if God brings you to something, you have to know that he's going to bring you through it. And God is he's been bringing me through, and he's still bringing me through this recovery. And I'm grateful for it. And so I wanted to share that with y'all and just really encourage y'all with that. And to let you know there's always a lesson in everything that you go through. Don't discount what you go through. Don't be like, I don't think it really was necessary for all of that to happen. The reason why I say that is because it was very necessary, because it completely transformed me. It completely changed me, not just only in my leg and my walk, but in my mind and my walk with God and my relationship with God. You get what I'm saying? So you may look at something and you may feel like that, why this had to happen to me? If you stop thinking like that, then you'll be able to really see the blessing in it. If you stop looking at everything so negatively and from a negative perspective, and you allow God to open your perspective and open your mind and allow you to really see why it was necessary for you to go through the things or to experience the things or to have certain things happen to you, then you'll be more appreciative. Because if you allow it to make you better and not bitter, you'll also be appreciative for that. Because a lot of times when we go through things, we do get bitter. We get angry, we get upset, we get hurt. You get what I'm saying? And I could have easily took that route. But the fact that I just, I couldn't do nothing but trust God. I literally couldn't do nothing but trust God. And I thank God, because it built my faith in him even more. It built my trust in him and my hope and my belief in him. So everything that happens, just know that God gonna turn it for your good. It reminds me of Joseph. When everything Joseph went through, at the end of his story, he told his brothers, that thing that you meant for my bad, God turned it and used it for my good. This injury had happened to me because God knew I needed to get focused. God knew that I was distracted, that there was a lot that was standing in my way of my relationship with God and me progressing and moving higher and forward in life. And so he had to lay me down. He had to allow that to happen so I could snap out of what it was that I was doing and where I was at and the mindset that I had at that time. So again, there's a blessing in everything if you allow yourself to see it. So again, whatever you're going through, whatever injury you're recovering from or whatever you're recovering from, just know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. If you hang in there and you hold on and you keep fighting, show up for you, show up for God, and show up for life. God bless.
Walk it like I talk it, yeah, I walk it. Flowers never grow without some water.